Respiratory protection and self-contained breathing apparatus are used to protect us from harmful gases, fumes, vapors, and chemicals, as well as where the air doesn't contain enough oxygen to support life. You need information and training on this type of equipment and the hazards involved before you attempt to use respiratory protection. Your organization will provide specific training, but this program is designed to give you some information about personal protection under adverse or hazardous conditions. Let's begin by talking about the basics of why the protection is needed. We all know that chemicals and hazardous materials may have an adverse effect upon your health, but the effect may not show up for years later after repeated or long-term exposure. If you drop something on your foot, you know it right away. If you're exposed to a harmful chemical, you may or may not feel the ill effects for a long time, if ever. Some chemicals, such as chlorine, act quickly, so you know about that exposure immediately. Breathing is a natural function, and we usually never think of how it happens. Our brain sends messages to the nerves and muscles in the lungs, telling them to function. The diaphragm, a large muscle stretched across your abdomen, contracts to pull air through the nose, down your windpipe, and into the lungs. Once in the lungs, oxygen migrates into the bloodstream through the thin walls of tiny air sacs deep within the lungs. Breathing toxic chemicals end up in the lungs. Naturally, the lungs, liver, brain, kidneys, and central nervous system are all potential targets of many chemicals. Your body has some natural defenses, such as hair in the nose, tiny hair cells that line the entire respiratory system, and other similar defenses. They cannot defend against many harsh or dangerous chemicals. One of the problems that we all encounter is dust. Dust can be in the forms of nuisance or hazardous dust. They float in the air and can enter your body through breathing, skin absorption, or through eating or drinking the residue created by the dust. Fumes occur during high heat operations such as welding or smelting. Mists are hazards found in operations such as painting or pesticide applications, or any area where liquids are set in motion in the air. Gases are usually produced by some chemical process, such as hydrogen sulfide found in sewers or storm drains. Carbon monoxide gas is usually a byproduct of engine exhaust. Respirators must be kept clean. Dusty or dirty respirators deteriorate rapidly and can cause damage to expensive equipment. Clean before and after use. Your respirator supplier has a specific set of cleaning requirements, therefore you should take care to follow these instructions. Naturally, report any defects to management for repair or replacement. Never modify your respirator in any manner. Store your clean respirator in a Ziploc type bag. This prevents dust and contamination from getting on the equipment. Full-face respirators are designed to protect your respiratory system and eyes from contamination. They use cartridges and/or pre-filters for protection. Again, check the cartridge for the hazards they are designed to eliminate. One thing to think about: if you wear prescription glasses, you may need to check with your supervisor on the types of special lenses that may be needed for good vision. You cannot wear contact lenses when wearing any type of respirator. Last but not least is the air-supplied respirator's self-contained breathing apparatus. This is the best protection from respiratory hazards and oxygen deficiency as you breathe purified air. There are two types of air-supplied respirators: airline and self-contained breathing apparatus. Airline respirators supply clean air through a special hose attached to a pump or compressed air. Compressed air must be from special compressors or systems where all the contaminants are removed, as well as lubrication oil and fumes, as found on regular air compressors. Even when wearing one of these types of air-supplied respirators, you may need an emergency pack of air to use in case of an emergency. Manufacturers have specific requirements for the handling, using, cleaning, storing, and inspecting of their equipment. Follow the manufacturer's recommendations. Most of the self-contained breathing apparatus respirators you carry on your back will last about 15 to 20 minutes depending upon the work activity and your size. When the air supply becomes low, an alarm will sound telling you to get out and replace the air supply. Don't always rely upon mechanical alarms. Check the amount of time you're in the work area and leave the area if you're about to run out of air. As with all respiratory equipment, it is recommended you have an annual physical to determine your physical fitness for wearing any respiratory protection device.